Okay, guys, remember once the password reset link is sent, now if you look at the user tokens table, so this user tokens table, does it store the password? I mean that link what we send, whatever the token we generated for the password reset, it is storing no. So why it is not storing and why it is read how it is going to store? Let us try to understand. See guys, remember in ASP.NET Core Identity, this is users tokens table. So we have updated the name that is users tokens table. If you have going with the default naming convention, then that name is going to be ASP.NET users token. So this table is specifically designed to store tokens for various purposes. So various purpose means what? Authentication purpose, two-factor authentication purpose, email confirmation purpose, forgot password purpose. It's many different purposes are there. But by default, this email confirmation, this password reset, they are not going to be stored inside the table by default. So why they are not going to store by default? So let us try to understand. So security consideration. See, storing sensitive tokens. See, guys, remember this email confirmation, forgot password, these are sensitive tokens. So storing sensitive tokens in the database would expose security risk. If the database is compromised, if the attacker can access to your database tokens, then they can easily reset the user's password. So to avoid such kind of things, by default, ASP.NET Core Identity never going to store these informations, right? For example, you can say if that token it is going to store, if that token it get access, then he can know, if he know your email ID, he can easily generate that link and they can reset your password. Yes or no? So basically, what we need for resetting the password, what is important to us? That a token. Email ID, then no. Confirm password, red password confirm, he will enter. So who is taking the responsibility whether this request is coming from the trusted, authenticated user or not? That a token. If the token is access to the user, customer, hacker, then they can do the changes. Again, second thing is a one-time use and short lifespan. So basically, this token, whatever we are going to generate, they are going to be one time. Once you use the token, that is no longer required. That is, you cannot use the token two times. Again, that duration is going to be very less in the sense, typically some minutes to some hour. Then why should I store this information in the database, which is going to be one time use and which duration is going to be also very less? It's not required. And the stateless approach. See, guys, remember right? Remember, ASP.NET Core Identity uses a stateless approach for this token. So what do you mean by stateless approach? Now, instead of storing the token, it generates the token dynamically using the specific user data, user ID, email combined with the secret key. Secret key in this case, it is going to take that security right. If you look at the users table, so in the users table, we are going to have one security stamp table, security stamp column. So this is going to be your security key. So based on the security key, it is going to generate the token, right? And when the token is submitted for verification, again the system going to regenerate the token and it is going to compare that token with the provided token. If both are matched, then that is valid, otherwise it is invalid. See, right? Yeah. Why we are not, why it is not storing? So if someone asks you why the token by default is not stored in the database, because of the security, as it is going to be only one time use and a short lifespan, as this token can be dynamically generated and validated. So it doesn't make any sense to store this token in the database. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
Right. Now, let's assume for some reason, some auditing purpose, or some because of some any requirement, right? They ask, no, we want to store this token in the database for our audit purpose. Then how you can do this, right? First of all, you need to remember how the tokens are going to be generated, how it is going to content send content. See, whatever the user identity, whatever purpose, security stamp, and a timestamp. These things it will take into consideration while generating the token. So what is the purpose? Forget password. What is the user identity? You already know that user entity. What is the security stamp that you will get from the user entity? And the timestamp means how long this token is going to be valid, that timestamp. So by taking this thing, it is going to generate the token. Now, so which table is responsible for storing the data. Now ASP not users token. In our example, it is the users token. Where user ID is going to be what? User ID is the foreign key. So this user ID is going to be the foreign key pointing to the user table ID column. One is login provider. Login provider means who generate this token. For example, your application generating this token. For example, some external authentication. If the token is being generated like Google or someone else, Microsoft, then in that case, we are the provider that what you need to store. But in our case, it is going to be our application. Name means a label, which is going to discuss, which is going to specify what type of a token is this. For example, forgot password token. For example, email confirmation token. For example, two-factor authentication token. Whatever name you want, you can give. And the value is going to be the actual token. That string, whatever it is generated, that value it is going to store inside the value column. So you can see there are four columns. User ID, that is the foreign key, login provider who generate this token, name, the token name, value, the token actual value. Now, so once this thing is there, then we can write the set the data. So what we want to do is right? Why we need to store the token data into the table? Now, if you want to manually revoke or invalidate a token, if you want to audit and track the token usage, if you want allow the user to regenerate or reuse the token within its lifetime. So if that is what your custom right requirement, then what you need to do, you need to store this token into the database table. So how I can store the token into the table? Now, basically, you need to remember this user manager service provided us three methods. This user manager service provided us three methods. Using this three method, we can manage the token into the AspNet users tokens table. So what are the method? Set authentication token. Set authentication token means it is going to add or update the token. Sir, what do you mean by add or updates the token? See, guys, remember now they are going to maintain only one active token per user. One active token per user means what? Now, if I'm going to store some token, let assume forget password. Let assume the user ID is ABC. For ABC user ID, that token can only exist once. Forget password, ABC user, only one time. You cannot find two token with the same user and the same token type into this user tokens table. So if the token exists, then what it will do? It is going to update the token value. If not exist, it is going to create the token. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
Okay. So if not clear, don't worry. I will show you this thing once I run the application. So get authentication token. So basically, this method is going to return, right? It is going to return the token whatever stored in the database. So what information you need to pass? You need to pass whatever the user. You need to pass the token type. Token type means you need to pass the user and the token provider name. Name means whatever the token, forgot password, reset, whatever. So that things you need to pass, and it is going to return you the uh, stored token. And this remove authentication token async method is basically, or you can say it is going to manually delete the token from the database. So now let us proceed and implement this in our application. So storing forgot password token in the database. So how we can do this? So let us try to observe. First of all, send reset the async method. So we need to update this method. So whenever we are sending the reset, what I can say, email within the service class, we need to store this token into the database. So this is my application. So this reset async method, whatever is there, I need to update with the updated one. So this is the same method, whatever code we have written here, the same code we have written, but additionally, what I'm doing here, I'm calling this set authentication token method. So you can see I'm calling this method. This is my user object. This is the provider right token name, and this is the right. This is the provider reset password, and this is going to be my right. What I can say name, and this is going to be the value. Clear? So here you can see four things I'm passing. So what are the things? The T user, the login provider, token name, and token value. So in this case, login provider is this one. So if you want, you can give your name, right? This is not mandatory. Whatever the name you want, you can give. This is the token name and this is the token value. So these things I have provided. And remember, this In this case, calling this remove authentication token method not required. Why not required? Because in this case, it is going to do the same thing. Right? Set authentication will override the value. So as it is going to override the value, no need to call this method. Even let me remove this one. Right? So this one is going to override the value. So we don't need to, right? What I can say, uh, call the remove method. So this is the only new statement that what I have added along with my existing code. Clear? So what is this method is going to do? Whatever the token it generate, that token it is going to store in the database. That's it. Clear? And not only going to store, but if that token, I mean, for if this combination is already exist, if this combination is already exist for this user, for this provider, for this right token, if the token is already exist, then it is going to update the token. That's it. Clear?
Yes.
Right. So once this is done, what is the next thing? Next thing is once the password is reset, then what we need to do? We need to remove the token. If you are not removing the token, that's fine because whenever, right, whenever in the sense, whenever the user going to reset the password again, that token that is going to be reset. But again, why I'm going to store, why I'm going to keep some unused data in the database? Because this functionality is not going to be frequently used, right? The user is not going to do this reset password 10 times in a day. He can do this once in a while. So why should I store this information in the database? Not required. So here what I need to do, right? Here you can see, uh, first of all, I'm getting this user decoded byte. So I'm converting that token. And then here you can see get authentication token async method I'm passing. The same user, same provider, and the same right token name. So these three things I have provided. And based on this provider and the token name and for this user, if any existing token are there, that token we are fetching. If this token is null or empty, and if this stored token is not equals to this decoded token, then I need to return this error message. Because here we are right we are trying to implement this functionality. We are storing the token means that what we need to use. If the token is valid and I mean token exists and it is valid in the sense it is same to this token, then what I need to do? I need to call this reset password method. So to this password method, what I need to do? I need to call this user method, whatever the decoded token and this model dot password. So again, the remaining logic is going to be same. But again, once the password is reset, so not only I need to invalidate the session, but also I need to delete the right token from the table by calling this remove authentication token method. Clear? Clear or not? Yes or no?
Clear.
Okay. So now let us try to understand whether this is working fine or not. So let me run the application. Go to this login page. Forgot password. Enter this one. Send this link. Now, if you go to this user tokens table, I'm seeing this one. So this is my user ID. Provider is this one. Any value you can pass. This is my password reset token, and this is my token value. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. Now, what I'm going to do, I will receive the email ID. So let me go ahead and go to this page. So this is the email I received. So now click on this one and reset the password. See, password reset successful. Now go ahead and check that is deleted or not. Clear? How to store the token information into the database table.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now in the right, what I can say, in the interview, you might get one question: what is the default local right token lifespan? See, guys, remember the default duration is 24 hours. I mean, what? Now, this token is valid for 24 hours. The token is valid for 24 hours. So, if that is what you are requiring, that is fine. But if they will ask you, can I change this to some other timing? I mean, can I set or can I update this or can I set a different time apart from this default timeout? Yes, that is also possible. So how I can do this? Now we need to register the token lifespan. So where I need to register? So that what I need to register into this program.cs class file. So basically, so here you can see this is the data protection token provider. So this data protection token provider is nothing but it is the token provider which is generating the token, and using this provider you can set whatever the duration the token time, right? I mean the token is going to valid. For example, 2 hours. You can set 2 hours, 5 hours, some minutes, whatever you want, you can set that also. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So this is all about how to store the token data and how to clear the token data. I mean, I have shown you the option how to store the data, how to fetch the data, as well as how to remove the data. For this purpose, they have provided us three methods. What are the methods? Set authentication token, get authentication token, remove authentication token. These are the three methods that what you need to use. And this is the same method. For example, currently this is what we are working now. If you go to the email account service, right? So in this case also you can see at the time of registration or forget send email async method, right? So here also you can see I'm generating one token. Now it is a task for you guys. So can I store this token into the database?
Yes.
So what are the changes you need to do? So no, nothing special, right? The way we are working here, the same thing you need to do. So here reset password, that is going to be email confirmation. So here password reset token, you can set right the email confirmation token. So that's what you need to do. Clear?
Yes.
Right? But what is important? Whatever the provider, whatever the token name you are providing, same thing you need to use while setting, while removing, and while getting the data. If you change the provider name or token name, it will not work. Clear?
Yes.
Anyone having any question, guys? Anyone having any question? How to store token in ASP.NET Core Identity?